I'm Nick, and this is the brand new Phanteks XT-M3, a $59 MATX case with back connector support. It's looking kind of spicy. Let's do our usual thing. Let's take a little bit of a closer look, and I'll let you guys know if this case is worth your hard-earned moolah. Yeah. All right, here it is, ladies and gents, the Phanteks XT-M3. It's a case that we saw at Computex. As for the dimensions of the case, it is 460 millimeters deep, 235 millimeters wide, and 370 millimeters tall. For front I/O, there's a power button with a combined power light, a USB Type-C port, a USB Type-A port, and a combined headphone and microphone jack. The wiring reflects this with a USB Type-C cable, a front panel audio cable, a USB 3.25 gigabit cable, and a front panel connector for all your lights and all your switches to let you know your system's on and to turn it on. To get inside, you need to remove the top panel first. There's a little notch on the back edge of the case. You want to pop that up and then lift that away from the case. To remove the side TG panel, there's a screw. As labeled by the sticker, remove top panel first, right? And then it shows like a screw, I guess. Remove the screw, tilt the panel towards you, and then lift it up and away from the case. The back panel is identical with a screw in the same place, and you remove it the same way. The front panel of the case can just be popped out by grabbing the corner and then pulling it away from the case. And finally, there's another panel on the side of the case, which is used for cable management, which you should remove when you're building in the XT-M3. There's a single dust filter on the bottom of the case, which slides out via the back. It just pops out and you can slide it all the way out. For storage, there's 2 drive mounts in total on the back of the motherboard tray. There's a single 2.5-inch drive mount as well as a 3.5-inch drive mount too. You can install a 2.5-inch drive in the 3.5-inch mount as well. As for motherboard compatibility and air cooler support, the XT-M3 supports ITX and MATX boards only, and it will support back connector boards too. As for the air cooler height, it's got a maximum air cooler height of 175 millimeters, and you can see me putting in the MSI B650M Project Zero board with the Ryzen 9 9950X, 48 gigs of RAM, and a 4TB Samsung 9100 Pro. As for power supply support, there's a maximum supported length of 150 millimeters. Keep in mind, removing that bottom panel that I showed earlier is the path of least resistance for cable management. There's also an extension cable because the power supply is mounted at the front, and this is just a regular power cord extension. It's got a right angle connector on one end to make it easier to plug in at the top of the case. At the front of the XT-M3, you can mount 2 120mm fans. The fans need to be screwed into the backside of the front panel because the front panel of the case is very thin and there would just be no way to put fans on the other side. There's a single rear 120mm fan mount, as well as the ability to install 3 120mm fans on the bottom of the case. The fans I'm using at the bottom here are reverse pitch blades, so they're set to intake. And finally, at the top of the case, you can do either 3 120mm fans or up to a 360mm liquid cooler. For GPU support, the XT-M3 supports GPUs up to 430mm long. There is lots of clearance in this case for GPUs. There's no included GPU support bracket. I did 3D print my own bracket for the purposes of this video, but it's specific to this GPU. As for the cable management in the XT-M3, you can see that it is an absolute dream to cable manage in. I spent no time cable managing. I just plugged everything in and everything looked really, really nice. So good work, Phanteks. I think you've done a great job here with cable management. Not only that, this is a back connector motherboard, so typically cable management is going to be very clean regardless. All right, that's enough talking about the XT-M3. Let's have a little look at some B-roll and then we'll talk about the thermals. what you're seeing on your screen right now is the thermals are actually not terrible at all. I'm finding a little bit of a pattern now is that we're seeing, especially with the amount of hardware that we test that is quite similar and the case design, that we've kind of hit this point where all the thermals are looking pretty much the same across the board. So the thermals here are perfectly adequate, I suppose. What else do you want me to say about it? They're fine. We've got super high-end hardware and the thermals are fine. There's a 9950X and a 5090. So yeah, the thermals are perfectly adequate. To answer the question about the hardware, because we've been getting this question a lot lately in our case reviews, there's little cards on the screen and they pop up and they say what all the hardware is, and there's a PC part picker list and some Amazon links down below if you want to buy in the hardware. Anyway, I also wanted to talk about why I chose this hardware in particular, because we do get asked, why do you use high-end hardware in cheap cases? Well, the reality is, this is worst case scenario. If we use incredibly hot hardware, you know that if you're going to get some mid-range stuff, you're going to have a lot of thermal headroom. And that's why we do it. Makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to me. Maybe it doesn't make sense to other people. I know that you're probably not going to be putting however many thousand Australian dollar GPU this is in a $100 Australian case, but you might. Just because you have an expensive GPU doesn't mean you need to spend $1 million on your case too, right? Especially when the thermals are as good as this and the internal layout is perfectly fine. It fits massive hardware in it and it's got so much fan compatibility. It's got back connector support and it's MATX with 360mm liquid cooling support. In fact, this case here, in Australia at least, is cheaper than the Lian Li A3 MATX, and that is what this would be competing with the most. So I would say this is a pretty darn excellent deal. The history of the XT-M3, from what I can tell, is this was designed for system integrators, and I don't think Phanteks was going to be selling it to like everybody, if that makes sense, right? And now you can go and buy this for $59 without fans. And if you do want fans, it's $69, which is also a pretty great deal. This is the thing that Phanteks has been really good at over the last few years, is kind of coming down from making these really high-end expensive cases and giving us really good quality, entry-level, budget-focused cases. And I gotta say, the XT-M3 is looking fantastic. I have no notes. The cable management, as you're seeing on this clip right now, is really, really good. This is a back connector build as well. Typically, there can be issues with clearance behind the motherboard. Nothing. This case is perfectly adequate. Honestly, buy it if you're looking at an MATX case. Airflow is great. It's cheap. And big hardware fits in it. What else do you need? What else do you need? Yeah, it doesn't have wood on the front like every other case. And it's a little bit bigger than the A3 MATX, sure. But it's really easy to build in, and it makes it easier to build in because of that bit of extra volume. So yeah, good work, Phanteks. I really like it. It was a pleasure to build in. I had no issues with this case. It had beautiful cable pass-through holes for everything. Everything's hidden. The only thing that I would like to have seen with this is a GPU support bracket. I just 3D printed one quickly for this GPU because it was sagging like your grandma.
What about a grandpa?
I mean, if he's got saggy balls.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
What? We're allowed to say balls now on YouTube.
Are we?
Yeah.
Balls.
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 Everyone's saying balls.
Balls.
Come on, say it with me, guys. Balls. Rob will like that one. He thinks about balls quite a bit. Anyway, if you're interested in the Phanteks XT-M3, as I've mentioned about 84,000 times in the video, $59 without fans, 69 with fans, 99 Aussie simoleons. Is that what we call it here? Dollary-doos, Kanga dollars, whatever it is. 99 Aussie bucks for this without fans. Pretty good deal for an MATX case. Don't hate it. I don't have anything else to say. Maybe I should do something funny now. Like, is that something I do?
No.
I don't know how it works, man. Look, there's a video here. Just watch the thing. Apparently, if you're interested, and just, I don't know.
Amazon links down there.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, but I put cool ones there.
Oh, what's in the list?
You gotta look to find out.
Oh, now I kind of want to know.
Fun stuff.
I don't do anything, guys. I got to be honest with you. I don't do anything except talk to the camera and edit the video. Everything else is Claire. I do nothing. Social media, all that stuff is not me. It's not me. I don't do any of it. I'm not the guy when you send Instagram messages or comments. It's not me. I don't do it. I'm not the guy.
Should be the guy.
I should be the guy. I don't have time.
Neither do I. We're both the guy.
I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy. I'm not. I still have a server rack to build. This one. I've been thinking about it a lot lately.
We should do that tomorrow.
No. I am building a server tomorrow though.